welcome back to English. Let's have a look at some of the work you've done yesterday.
Okay, before we look at your English work, let's take a look at some of the other things that we've been sent in while we were off. This is Bethany in Cardiff. She's been very busy cooking and making some wonderful artwork. Well done. Now this guy, Isaac, is my nephew, and he's done a wonderful piece of work here on Edith Cavell, who was a nurse in the First World War. He made it all by himself. He's only in year 2. Fantastic work, Isaac. And his brother, Nathan, has been working hard, and he's only 4. He hasn't even started school yet. And here he is working hard. He must be our youngest follower. Now, Katie's made a wonderful thing telling us why we make her smile. Well, you make us smile too, Katie. And here's Mark, who's drawn a picture of a dog and labelled it. Thank you, Mark. Now, let's see what you did in today's English class. Aidan, wonderful work here on his apostrophes. And we've got more from Eleanor in a nice, colourful top as well. Grace, looking very proud of her apostrophes work. Well done, Grace. And Jada is also looking very pleased with herself. Joel's been getting involved with the apostrophes work too. Looks like he might be a bit tired there. Niall's done some wonderful work as well, with beautiful handwriting. And finally, Vasia, as always, keeping up to date with her apostrophes work. Well done to everybody, and thank you for sending them in.
It's mine! It's mine!
Mine!
Give it back!
It's mine!
It belongs to me! Look what you've done now!
You started it.
It is mine. Give me it!
No, that bit is mine.
I found it first. It's mine!
It's my possession.
But if it's so important to you then, what is it?
I don't know. What do you think it is?
I don't know. Yeah, you have it.
No, you have it.
Okay. Well, today we are talking about possession.
Possession.
Yeah, we're talking about possession. How do we show in the English language when something belongs to somebody? Can we just put our name on it like Andy in Toy Story and say, it belongs to me?
Does it have to be in our house to say that's my possession? Because it's in my house. My car never gets inside my house, but it's still my possession. So how do we do it? Well, it's simple. We use our little friend, an apostrophe.
Very good.
Like a floating comma. But today, it's not for contractions. Do not get confused. You need to be able to keep a keen eye. Is that apostrophe there for a contraction, or is that apostrophe there for possession? What's it there for? Hey.
Tell me when you're there. Well, we'll find out.
So, let's start with a nice...
Oh, we've missed this, haven't we? We've missed this.
Let's start with a nice simple one. This laptop. Whose is it? Mr. S?
This is Mr. A's laptop.
So I'm going to try and phonetically sound out that phrase, Mr. A's laptop.
Mr. as laptop. Confusing.
Yeah, very confusing. So it does look a bit like the word as, but we know it's not Mr. As laptop. It's Mr. A's laptop. So what we do is we get that little friend an apostrophe and we place it just in the middle there to say Mr. A's laptop. Now this isn't saying there's more than one Mr. A. It's not saying, look at all those Mr. A's over there, because there's only one of me and he's right here.
Thank goodness for that.
Yep. It's possessive. We never actually show plural words with an apostrophe. So if there's more than one Mr. A, we'd never use an apostrophe, and we'll look more at that tomorrow. We just simply put an apostrophe in there.
Should we look at another one?
Yes.
Now, don't tell them this, but I've managed to find.
Oh dear.
Some of you who've been following the channel might know who this belongs to. Do you know who it is? Correct. This is the professor's tie. Okay.
The professor's tie. Now, at the moment, this is saying there's more than one professor. It's like, look at the professors.
Well, it's very complicated, isn't it? I mean, you tie it like this, and then maybe, do we tie it like this?
It's not.
Tie it like this?
It's not complicated at all.
Maybe tie it around our heads. Maybe that's what he meant. Tie it around our heads. Like my tie.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Knotting.
No, what are you doing?
Knotting.
What?
Tying knots. Knotting.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Just thought I was being lazy there, did you?
A little bit.
Okay, and there we go. I've tied it.
The professor's tie.
We both did, didn't we?
Yeah. No. Definitely doesn't mean that there's more than one professor there tying.
That's not a verb in this sentence, and there's not more than one of them, so it doesn't mean that.
So it means this belongs to the professor. So we need that apostrophe back in. Just there. So maybe you could think of a few things around your house and start writing out what belongs to you. Placing that possessive apostrophe in there. Find something that belongs to your mum and dad, auntie, uncle, grandma, granddad, brother or sister, whoever's looking after you.
Don't steal it though, get permission.
No, it is theirs. It's their possession. Now, there are two rules that we'd like you to think about when it comes to apostrophes, because they can get a little tricky. Now, I've got a friend whose name is James, and I spell his name like this. And he has
A giant peach.
Yep. Now, this one is a bit strange because James's name already ends with an S. And I know the correct way of what you do here. You don't add another S.
Hang on. You do add another S?
You don't.
With an apostrophe, you do an apostrophe and an S. What do you think you
No.
do?
If their names end in an S, then you just put the apostrophe. Because then you just say it's James's giant peach. You're supposed to say James's giant peach.
You do the apostrophe. Because it's singular, there's just one James. So because it's singular, you do James... And you do it.
That looks silly. James's giant peach.
But it's singular, it's just one James, so you do apostrophe S.
No, his name ends in S, and there's a rule that if their name ends in S, then you just
Tell you
do
what,
apostrophe. Let's Google it.
Let's ask the professor.
What's that, boys? Sorry, I'm busy time, but you're asking me about apostrophes with words, nouns that end with an S. Well, actually, I can tell you that you're both correct. For that example with James, you can have James's with just an apostrophe or James's with an apostrophe S. It's one of those quirks of the English language where both rules apply, both work. We don't know why, that's just how it is. So boys, you're both correct for once, because you're normally both wrong, but you're both correct, so well done.
Well, there you go. Turns out I was right and you were right.
You're both right.
It's one of those rules in English where you can do it either way. If the name ends in S and you think it looks, a bit complicated going apostrophe S, then you can just leave it with the apostrophe. If, however, you want to put the apostrophe S in there, it's up to
So,
you.
no need to call the ground police.
No,
Okay,
no need to
both
call the
right.
ground police. We've covered both lines there. It's right and not right. Don't we love the English language? Let's try one rule that definitely is true, though. The penguin's enclosure. Now, this enclosure belongs to the penguins. It is the penguins, but there's more than one penguin. So, therefore, we would have to keep it as more than one penguin. Penguins, there's plural, there's more than one.
Yep, so it's more than one penguin, and the enclosure belongs to all of the penguins. So to show this, we put our apostrophe after the S, and we don't put another S. We definitely don't. That's definitely the rule this time, because it's more than one penguin. It's plural. So the penguin's enclosure, the enclosure that belongs to all of those penguins there, that's how we write it with the apostrophe.
So we have the S because it's plural, we have the apostrophe because it's possessive. This works with things like the boys' toilets, because it belongs to all the boys, or the girls' changing room, or the team's stadium.
Yeah. Now, there are some plural words that don't end with an S, like this one, for example. So here, this is a plural word, but it doesn't end in an S. And there are a bunch of words in the English language, which never likes to follow the rules, does it? That don't end in an S, and this is one of them, children.
So let's put it in a sentence. Let's say the children each have a coat. So we say the children's. Now, because it belongs to them, we're going to have to say it's the children's
Coats.
Thank you. Coats.
So we have the children's coat. It's a bunch of coats. It belongs to they belong to all of the kids in the class. So how do we show this? Well, the last time we had a plural noun, we put the apostrophe after the S. But we don't actually do it this time because, if you remember, the word children doesn't end in an S normally. So when we show possession, we do put an S and we put the apostrophe before the S. So there's lots of rules to remember there with apostrophes.
Yeah. Now, there are some very, very challenging questions below to try and add the apostrophes in the correct place of the sentences. But also, come up with some of your own of things that are around your house. See you later.